There's no harm in asking. There's nothing embarrassing about asking something that you don't know. Having a friendship and having a working relationship are two completely different things. But I think the most important thing is to try and separate business from friendship. Expect the unexpected. You'll have massive highs, but you also have really low lows. It's all about just keep going every day, keep building the brand, keep growing, keep learning. And yeah, it's all about the end goal at the end of the day.
I am so excited to have you on today. Can you please start by introducing yourself as if you're speaking to someone that you've never met before?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Danika Hossain. I'm the co-founder of Bhangra Blends along with Arsha Bhatnagar, who's my best friend. We started the brand in November 2024, launched in July 2025, and here we are now.
That's awesome. And how would you describe Bhangra Blends to someone who's never heard of it and is seeing it on their shelves in the supermarket?
So Bhangra Blends is the UK's first Indian-inspired cocktail and mocktail brand. You walk into Tesco and Sainsbury's, you see hundreds of different cans, but they're always mojitos, margaritas, always the same sort of Western, similar flavours. We thought Indian cuisine is so massive in the UK. Chicken tikka masala is the UK's #1 dish, completely underrepresented in the UK drinks market. So we came up with Bhangra Blends to bring those flavours to the UK drinks market for the first time.
And what's your origin story around creating Bhangra Blends? So you started as a student, and from my time at uni, Desi societies at university were crazy. We know how to have a good time and have not just going out, but community meals and dinner parties and just all of these different occasions. So is that what inspired you? What was the origin story towards creating this brand?
Yeah, for sure. So me and Arsha, obviously, we started it in November 2024. And how it came about was we went out one night. We had some of those cans that you get in the stores. And we came home and we literally thought, Indian flavours, they're so big in the UK. Has anyone ever made a UK Indian drinks brand? So the very next morning, we woke up, we searched it up. There was nothing in the market. So literally from then, we went to Tesco, bought tons of different ingredients, started bartending and made a few of our own recipes. Me and Arsha, we used to bartend while we were at university as well. So we just put together a few recipes, maybe around 20, started testing it out, and then it sort of all went from there.
And what was the journey from taking it as something that you created at home with your best friend into something that is now a product that you see with retailers? What was that journey in terms of product development?
So that was actually quite a quick journey. So how it started was, like I said, we made those 20 recipes at home, recipes that we thought tasted good. Initially, we just started it out, trying it on Arsha's parents, asking them if they liked it. And then obviously we knew we had to test it on more people. So how we started it was we did 2 launch parties at home, and those were with close friends and families. We had all the recipes in a line and we got everyone to try them. We had these feedback forms that we printed out with QR codes. So we made everyone rate the different drinks on flavour, taste, smell, would they buy it again out of 5. We collected all of that data. So we did a couple of those, one with Arsha's parents, friends and family, then one with our own friends. And then we used that. And then from there, we sort of whittled it down to around 10 recipes that we thought were really good. And from that, we went to local restaurants in our area. So we went to the owners, we told them, look, we got these recipes, they go really well with your food. Just give us one night, let us bartend in your restaurants. We'll take over the menu, we'll provide all the drinks, let people try it. So we did that in a few different places. And we wanted it to be quite diverse as well. And we didn't want to just target South Asian people, Indian people. For example, we did an ABBA night somewhere where the drinks did really well. So we used the data from those. We saw what drinks people liked the most. We got it down to 5 of our best sellers. And then we took it from there to sort of get developed professionally.
And what was the journey of finding manufacturers and actually creating the can that I have in front of me?
Yeah, that was quite a long journey. So we had those 5 recipes that we made from fresh. But obviously when you bartend at home, you get syrups, you get sugars. All of these ingredients are not so good for you. We know that health consciousness is on the rise. We wanted to create a drink that doesn't give you that sickly aftertaste like a lot of canned drinks do. So the next stage was actually to get the drinks commercially developed. In order to do that, we had to raise money. So that was from January 2025, we started going out and fundraising. At the start, we were only aiming to raise £10,000 from close friends and family, but people were really invested in the idea. It was the UK's first Indian-inspired drinks brand. So from that, we went out and started raising money from external angel investors. So we managed to raise around £167,000, and that's what we used to sort of kickstart the production, the design and the lab development. So the first stage after raising money was obviously doing the lab development, getting the drinks commercially developed. So that's where we went to Drink Create with CEO Fred Hollenby Jones. So he's the one that helped us sort of convert the recipes into what we had at home with all the syrups and sugary ingredients into no added sugars, artificial ingredients or sweeteners. So from there, that's where we made the 4 recipes that we actually went ahead with. So that's how we did the recipes. And in terms of the design, we had a freelancer designer that sort of did all the designing for us. Like we couldn't have come up with that ourselves. So he helped us with that. And then Fred, who was the CEO of the drinks company, he helped us identify our manufacturer to actually get the drinks produced. And then they came out in July. So
that's such a journey, and I want to unpack all of it in detail with you. But before I do that, it's amazing that you were able to raise money before even developing the product, especially because one of the reasons I started this podcast is because when I was at uni, I found out that more men named David get funding for their businesses than all women combined.
Yeah.
When you add on the fact that we're young, that we're South Asian, there are so many kind of barriers into finding places to get funding. And yes, okay, the stat was for VC, and there's differences in terms of VC and angel and bootstrapping and grants and whatever, but it's still really hard to get other people to believe in your idea when you're starting out. So how did you get other people to believe in your idea, and what advice do you have for other young people starting their own thing that are pitching, that need to get other people on board to make their idea happen?
Yeah, definitely. Like fundraising is hard. Like people often say that fundraising is basically like a full-time job. And we did have, well, I wouldn't say we had difficulty fundraising, but obviously it's not easy. I feel like we were quite lucky with our idea, the fact that we found, although drinks is an oversaturated market, we found quite a good niche. So for us, what really helped was broadcasting our story online, on social media, on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere we could, to try and get that story to resonate with more people. And also networking events as well. The more networking events we went to, the more people we met, the more opportunities we had to pitch our product. I feel like for us, it was just getting our idea in front of as many people as we could, as possible. And of course, we started fundraising while we were pre-launch, so we didn't have a product, we just had the idea, we had the concept. So for us, it was getting that market validation, doing the restaurant testing that we did, getting those pre-orders from people that were interested in the idea, like restaurants, pubs, and sort of incorporating all of that into our pitch deck and sort of taking it from there.
That's awesome. And when I sit across from you, you talk really confidently about this whole process because you've been through it and you use all of this jargon. I want to do a quick rapid fire and do some jargon busting just because I feel like a lot of the people that will watch this are going to be in their early 20s and they might have an idea, but they might not have the access to resources or networks or the right people. So first, let's ungatekeep some of the words. And then let's talk about like some of the mindsets before we get into the nitty gritty of like how you actually actioned everything else. Okay, so what words do you think everyone should know before I start firing random words at you?
Oh, I think there's a few that are really important. I think one would be SEIS. That was fundamental to our fundraising journey. Yeah, I think that would be the main one.
So what is SEIS?
So SEIS stands for the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme. So it's a UK government scheme, and it was genuinely like so important for our fundraising round. So essentially, not a lot of people even know what it is as well. We had no idea what it was when we first started. We only found out from other people, like from networking and people literally explaining it to us. So what it is basically a UK government scheme where if you enroll, you submit your business plan, your business idea, and if you get approved, then all investors that invest in your business, if they're a UK taxpayer, they get 50% of their investment back from the government. So obviously that's a massive incentive for all investors to invest in your business. They're halving their risk. Also, hopefully not, but if your business goes bust within 3 years, then they get a further 25% of that back. So it's basically reducing their risk to 25%. And for a new business, when you're just starting out, especially if you haven't proved traction or proved revenue and things like that, it's such a massive way to sort of incentivize people to invest in your business. So that definitely helped us out a lot.
And what's a cap table?
So a cap table, so that just sort of shows everyone that's invested in your business, how much equity they have, like sort of where the shares are divided, who's on your, like who's invested in your business.
And a data room?
A data room, put me on the spot here.
Do you see what I mean? It's like also like wordy.
Yeah, honestly, data room, that's not really a word that I use that often, but it's like sort of where all your information is stored and how you access it, just sort of like a place where everything is really.
And then in terms of like product stuff, because my work is more service-based, so all the product-y jargon I don't really know. Someone yesterday asked me what a FMCG? Yes, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so FMCG, that's fast moving consumer goods. So obviously if you're doing services and that's not as relevant, it's just sort of goods that people actually buy. But yeah, a lot of these words, genuinely when I started out, I didn't know what anything meant. A lot of times like I was learning as I went. I think right at the start I was speaking to someone and they mentioned MOQ, and then like it's just like words that you should know, but
What is that?
Yeah, literally like you just learn as you go, and then eventually you just become more and more confident with it.
And do you have any recommendations around where you can go and learn all of this information? For me, I was very lucky that my university had a lot of free programs, and that's how I got to learn, but not everyone gets those resources. So I'll link some ones that worked for me in the bio, but do you have any recommendations of places to learn about business, entrepreneurship, jargon, all this kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good resources for free online. So for example, even the NatWest talk where we met, like free accelerator groups like that, where you can go meet people in person. They have all of these talks about startups, about business, sales funnels, anything that you need to know. Like you'll always be able to find something. And I think the best place to find those is on LinkedIn. I think for me, the best way I learned was meeting people in real life, having real life conversations. And if someone said something I didn't know, I would just ask them, like, what do you actually mean by that? And there's no harm in asking. Like, there's nothing embarrassing about asking something that you don't know. So I just feel like real life, going to things in person is the best way to learn, really.
100%. And one thing that really stuck with me from when we met and the talk that you gave was the importance of advisory boards. So first of all, can you share what an advisory board actually is? Then how to actually get people on your advisory board, and how to know which type of people you should look for.
Yeah, definitely. Advisory boards are so important. Bhangra Blends would not be where it is today without our advisory board. Especially when you're in an industry where you don't have so much expertise, you're just starting out, it's so important. So an advisory board is basically like a team of people that help you guide your business. They help you sort of structure your business plan, how to scale, how to grow, what to do, giving you advice in all the areas where you don't have that expertise. So obviously Bhangra Blends, we have our own advisory board that we started right from the very start. From when we started fundraising, we've been building ours. And I think for us, our key was getting people in areas where we don't have that expertise and where we need help. So for example, we have Dinshaw Talia, who's the founder of Cobra Beer. So he's Lord Karen Billamori's cousin. He helps us on the finance side. He was their CFO. So that's obviously monumental to help us with finance. Like I mentioned, Fred Hollenby-Jones. So he's also an investor in our company as well. He did our lab development. He has all the network, sort of the contacts that we need in logistics and manufacturing. So we wouldn't have been able to do our production run without him getting us in front of the right people. We have Chris Hindley, who has his own brand, Ginting Rumting. So he's helped us so much with introduction.
Ginting Rumting?
Yeah, Ginting Rumting.
That's such a fun name.
You heard of that? No, so it's like a gin brand. He started it in COVID. He's doing really well. I think he's been in Weatherspoons, a lot of spas. He's been doing a lot. So he's helped us loads with logistics, getting in front of buyers, introductions, loads of things on that side. And then we have Rebecca Oliver Mooney. So she helps us on the retail front, the marketing side. She was a commercial director at Co-op for 25 years. So she has a lot of obviously inside information that we wouldn't have. And then of course, and I'd say most importantly, we have Vishal Bhatnagar. It's Arsha's dad, so he's obviously been there from the start. He works in tech sales, so not directly relevant, but he's had 30 years experience in sales. So he's been guiding us from the very start on where to go and what to do. So without these people on our board, there's absolutely no way we would have been able to build Bhangra Blends to where it is.
And how did you find these people? What advice do you have for young founders or founders that are early on in their journey that are looking for the right advisors? How can they do that?
I feel like the way we met advisors was all very different the way we met them. But it's all along your journey, you meet people, you speak to them, you have those conversations. And then eventually, like if you keep speaking, you realise like they understand your vision and you'll find that people actually do want to help you. So like for example, Chris Hindley, we met him at a trade show where he had his own stand. We met him, started talking to him about our business. He was telling us how he could help. He saw the vision and then we asked him for help and he wanted to join the board. Same with Rebecca, same with Dinshaw. It's just going to networking events, meeting other people that are in the space. And there's a lot of people that like look for advisory board positions as well. Loads of people want to help younger brands, new emerging brands, see them grow, see them scale. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like it's about networking, meeting the right people. A lot of the time it is luck, it is chance, but LinkedIn is such an important place as well. But yeah, we've met all of ours along our journey as we've been going, so.
That's awesome. And speaking of team, because your advisor is part of your team, let's talk about your co-founder and that relationship, because one of the main reasons that startups fail are because co-founders kind of get into disagreements. But I think that you have, from what it seems, a really strong relationship, you're best friends. What advice do you have around maintaining a good friendship, but also a good working relationship with your co-founder?
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, with me and Arsha, like, we met in year 7. We've been best friends for about as long as I can remember. Like, she's basically like part of my family. But it is difficult starting a business. Like, having a friendship and having a working relationship are two completely different things. But I think like the most important thing is to try and separate business from friendship. Like, we have WhatsApp where we have all of our business chats, and then we leave social sort of outside of that. And sort of trying not to let the two interfere. And at the end of the day, like, a personal relationship and a working relationship, they're always going to be different. But we have the same goal. Like, we both want the business to succeed. So like, obviously we have had our disagreements at times, but at the end of the day, we both want what's best for the business. So it's just sort of keeping social and work separate.
And do you have any advice on like good places to find co-founders? Because you obviously met yours in year 7 and you've been friends for ages, but sometimes, I mean, people choose to be solo founders. Like, I'm a solo founder and I have an amazing team behind me, but sometimes people need a co-founder to get something done, or they need someone to help them with product development or whatever. How can you know whether that's a co-founder, that's an advisor, that's a contractor? Like, how can you find the right people in your team, and how did you find the right people to help you?
Yeah, I feel like it depends on what your business needs are in that moment. So I feel like if you're starting a brand new business and you need someone to take on a lot more, then having a co-founder is probably advisable. Like, I could not have done any of this without Arshia. But if you need help in one specific area, then it depends how much help you need. Like, if you just need advice and guidance, then that would probably be an advisory board member. But if you need someone full-time doing a specific thing, like selling, then you'll need a salesperson and hire someone to add to your team. But like I said, I think the best place to find, especially a co-founder or advisory board member, is definitely LinkedIn, or going to networking events. Like, posting on LinkedIn saying, hi, like, I'm looking for a co-founder. Like, that would get attention. If someone wants to fulfill that role, they'll see that post. But then again, at the end of the day, it's all about synergy, like how well you can work with the person, and yeah, just sort of meeting someone maybe at an event or online and then taking it from there.
I love that. And how have you found starting a business as young as you? I mean, I say this as if we're not the same age. Like, I find it really, like, it's a massive privilege to have started a business at my age. But it's really weird because I have a lot of friends that are still looking for jobs, still in master's programs. Some are corporate baddies now and they don't see daylight. And it's really weird because everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And when you start your own business, it's hard to sometimes maintain those friendships and also communicate like how intense it can be from the start. So how have you found balancing not just your co-founder relationship, but all of the relationships in your life, and also just like leaving university and being a full-time founder?
Yeah, it's definitely really tough. Like, it took some adjustment, I think. And it's very different to like having a 9 to 5 or having a job. I feel like especially where we are at our age, all of our friends are just all in complete different stages. Everyone's doing different things. And yeah, it is hard to sort of balance things sometimes. But like, having a business, like, it's not what you'd expect from when you start. Like, the second you start it, it's like kind of all consuming. Like, it's so full on having a business. But I feel like me and Ash are really lucky because I feel like we have friends and family that understand like our position and like what we're trying to do, and everyone's just so supportive. And also at the end of the day, like, it is important to try and maintain a balance between work life and social life, which can be difficult when you have a business. But I just feel like it's all about communicating that, still making time for your friends and family. But yeah, like, just having a business is pretty full on, as I'm sure you would know as well.
So you said that it's not what you expected. What did you expect, and what is the reality like for you? Because I had a whole different bunch of expectations as well. And what has, like, cause my business has been running now for also like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And how I thought it would go and how it's actually gone have been very different things.
Complete contrasting, like, yeah, I genuinely don't know what we expected when we started it. Because we started it thinking, yeah, we're going to make a couple of recipes and, like, I don't know, do this on the weekends and stuff. But obviously it grew into something so much bigger. I just feel like it's all about like growing along with the brand and like with the product. We weren't even expecting to raise money. We weren't expecting to come up with the can so soon. But when you have the opportunity and when it comes, I just feel like with us, we sort of had to sort of grow up as the business was growing as well, and like keep like up to pace with it. And yeah, it wasn't what we expected at all, but I just feel like we take it day by day, and then yeah, just do our best to sort of grow with the business. And I feel like we have done as well. We've learned so much, like we're completely different people than we were to when we started the business. So yeah.
Is there any advice you'd give to the version of you that started out?
I don't even know, like it's so hard to think about, it's so weird, right? No, I'd probably just tell myself to like keep going with it, expect the unexpected, like you'll have massive highs, but you also have really low lows. But it's all about just keep going every day, like keep building the brand, like keep growing, keep learning. And yeah, it's all about the end goal at the end of the day.
That's awesome. I feel like I would say the same, and also just like relax. Not in terms of like not chill out and do nothing, but like chill out because your anxiety is not actually doing anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my anxiety at the start to like really make it work used to just take up a lot of my mental bandwidth. And I think now I've become way more detached, and it's become slightly easier, not detached to the work that I do, but detached to like the stress. But that doesn't mean like the stress isn't there. Do you have any advice on like staying sane and running a business?
Definitely. I feel like even with that, like both me and Arsha have sort of grown up with that sort of element as well. Like at the start, I feel like we were both like, no, we need to work all day, every day, like no holidays, no time off. You need to do this 24/7. But then I feel like as we kept going, like we realised like it's okay to take some time off. It's okay to take some time to yourself without feeling guilty. Like if you're going to take an evening off or take a day off, then don't go on your phone. Like don't be like trying to do work on the side. Like it's important to have that time, because otherwise you're just going to end up overworking, burning yourself out, and then that's damaging to the business in the long term. And I feel like that's something that took both of us some time to sort of realise. But once we realised that, we realised like you do need to take some time to yourself, and it's just as important as working on the business.
100%. So we've talked about like the mindset. You've talked a little bit about product development and how you started by making these recipes at home, and then you found someone to help you actually make them professionally, and they made it more natural and everything. Let's talk about the brand. I'm holding it in my hand. It's beautiful. And you said that you worked with a freelancer to help come up with the packaging, but also across your socials, I feel like you have a very cohesive brand. It's really clear what it is. I think it's really cool. It's something that like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I want to be part of this. Yeah. That's so cool. What was that like, creating a brand world and actually creating a brand and a community as well as just a product?
Yeah, definitely. No, the community is so important to our brand as well. Like it's the whole reason behind it, the whole story behind it. I can't take any credit for the branding and marketing. Like that's literally all been Arshia. But no, we did realise pretty early on, like we can't just come out with a product. We need to have something that people recognise, that people resonate with, something that represents our brand well. That's why we've gone for like such colourful colours with the branding. Obviously, it's about South Asian culture, bringing that to drinks. We need it to be exciting, vibrant, cultural, and that's something that we try and bring through out of everything we do. Obviously, Theo, our designer, he helped us with the initial design, like the actual branding. But in terms of everything we do, it's all meant to represent that fun, like that boldness. And like we try and make sure that comes through everything we do.
I love that. And do you have any advice for any early stage business owners that they love their product, but they struggle a lot with like the marketing and branding side, and they don't know like how to create a brand? Again, it's not just about like creating cool social media posts. It's about creating like a brand world and a community.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about the colorful packaging, because Desi's are maximalists, you know, like you go to an Indian house, you go to an Indian wedding, it's like more is more. Yeah, and I feel like you've got that down with the way that everything is on socials. So what advice do you have around creating like an aesthetic for your brand?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have a vision for their brand, but sometimes it can become a bit unclear or become a bit muddled. And I feel like that was us at the start as well. Like right at the beginning, you should see our first logo, like, we didn't really have an idea. So I feel like it's just about taking a step back, that actually knowing who is your target audience, like what are you creating this for, who are you creating this for, and then making sure you build your brand around that, making sure that that resonates with people, like posting more about it as well, seeing what sticks. Like if you want to make a new logo or a new design, even like posting on social media and asking people which one do you prefer. And I feel like it's a lot of trial and error as well. We had so many different prototypes of our branding before we came out with it. It's just really trying out what works until something sticks, something actually resonates with you, and then keep going from that and building on that, because your brand image doesn't just stay as one thing, it grows and it evolves. So it's just about like seeing where it goes on its journey as well.
100%. And I feel the same way. This podcast wasn't called Reclaiming Bossy until a few months ago. I did a full rebrand because I realized that like it wasn't reaching the people that I wanted to reach, and now I really love it, and it took time. And one of the anxieties that I had when I was kind of trialing and erroring was being annoying. I was like, oh my God, because I'm one of the only people in my like wider friend group that is doing this right now from like school and university. And I was like, I'm so annoying. I post every day on everything. You can't escape me. And you know what? I was speaking to someone else this season about how, yes, I am annoying, but annoying is not the worst thing you can be.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's something that I'm working through around like having the confidence and the comfortability to post every day about my business and my brand. What has that journey been like for you around being annoying and kind of like taking up space on social media and in real life?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Like me and Arsha, I feel like at the start when we were doing social media and things, like we were like, what are we doing? Like, what are these videos? Like, what are we making? But then it's just like, it's about your brand and it's about growing your business. It's not about what other people think. It's about like what we think. And again, like social media, that is majority Arsha that looks after that side of things. But even with me, like at the start, I wouldn't be confident recording a video and posting it. I'll just be like, what am I doing? But it's important for the brand. Like if you have a new product, you can't expect people to know about it without ever posting about it, without being embarrassed or like shy to like put yourself out there. And as business owners, like it's our sort of responsibility to have that confidence and be able to talk about our product, be able to talk about our brand. So I feel like that was a bit of a learning curve as well. But us posting like is to educate like the consumer, which is what we need to do if we want the product to be a success. So I just feel like we've started caring less about what people think. It's what we think and what we want to post. It's our brand, it's our story. So we sort of just go with it like that. Like we started different series as well. Like Arsha did one about startup, like having a business. I did one about the finance side of things. It's all about educating other people, giving people that knowledge that we couldn't have. And if other people find that annoying, then like they don't have to watch it. But yeah, it's just more about what we think and what we want to do. So
I love that. That links perfectly onto the sales side as well, because I feel like that fear of coming across as salesy and not, it's less about being annoying and more around, again, being salesy can be really anxiety inducing, because you're not only taking space to talk about yourself, but you're asking people to like come and join or like buy your product and everything. What has been your journey with creating the different sales channels? Because you talked about this is how we met, and you seem to have these really clear ideas of how you're going to do it, and it seems to have gone super well. So what advice do you have around sales?
Yeah, so I feel like with sales, so like I mentioned in NatWest as well, we have different sales channels and we target different people. But I feel like for us the most important thing is like organic growth. Like we haven't spent money on marketing or paid ads. Like we don't want to be talking to people telling them to buy our product. We just want people to know about the brand. We want them to come along, like try it. If we're at an event or we're doing a pop-up or we're giving out samples, all we want is for people to try and experience our product. And if they like it, then hopefully that's up to them if they want to buy it. But yeah, we've just literally been trying to grow our brand organically by sharing our story, sharing what it's about, and then hopefully like naturally inviting people to come and try our products. So with our 4 sales channels, like I mentioned, we have our website, which is just online. Then we have events and our partnerships that we do. We have our restaurants, like pubs and bars on the on-trade, and then our independent retailers on the off-trade. But through all our channels, like events, restaurants and shops, we always like try and promote as much as we can, like with our sampling, like getting people to try the product, because at the end of the day, as especially with a drink, no one's going to buy something that they haven't tried before, or they're unlikely to. So for us, it's just getting the product in as many people's hands as we can, and then hopefully growing from there.
I love that. Aside from having an amazing product, and by the way, it's good. Like I'm a little tipsy and I've had like 3
Yeah,
sips.
it strongly comes up.
Oh God, it's good though. It's good. And aside from having a really good product, what do you do to build relationships with event partners, with retailers, with restaurants? How can you first of all find people, and how can you get them to like want to even speak with you in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, like, especially as a startup, I feel like relationship building is so important. And especially when you have a brand where you and your co-founder are sort of the face of it, it's your story, it's your product. So building that relationship is so important. I feel like with restaurants and shops and like bars, like meeting the owner, going in person, making that effort to give them the samples, tell them about your story in person, the context behind it. I feel like they resonate with that a lot. They see hundreds and thousands of drinks, but actually meeting you in person and hearing like the story behind it and having you actually explain the product to them, it helps a lot. Same with events as well. Like I said, we post a lot of our journey on social media, the ups and the downs. So in terms of collaborations and people reaching out to us, I feel like that content reaches people and that resonates with them, and that sort of makes them sort of want to talk to us, learn more about it and partner with us. So yeah, I just feel like having that personal side to it is really important, especially in early stages.
I love that. What advice do you have around resilience? And like, you've talked about the ups and the downs. That can be a lot. I have days sometimes where I will have one disastrous phone call and then 3 amazing phone calls.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot for your mental state, for your body, for everything. How do you deal with that and deal with like the fact that this is very much a marathon and not a sprint?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like at the start, it was harder for us to sort of deal with that. Like we would treat every bad meeting or every bad phone call as the end of the world, or like every like good meeting is like, oh yeah, this is amazing, like this is fine. But like as you go on, like you realize these ups and downs, they're never going to stop. Like we have a business, it's always going to be like there's always going to be bumps in the road. There's always going to be times when it's going really well, times where things are going wrong and things are tough. But literally like you just get used to it. Like it's like a cycle. And the most important thing is just keep going, because you know it's going to happen again. And I just feel like it's getting used to it. Like these things are always going to happen, but at the end of the day, as long as the business is still growing, you just got to like sort of take the hits as they come and work on it, build on it, learn like what went wrong and improve for next time. And that's all you can do, really.
I love that. What's your plan next for Bhangra Blends world domination? Like what's next?
Yeah, so obviously we've had a lot of exciting things happening this year. I think it's in a couple of weeks, and it would have been a year since we launched. Yeah, so 1 year anniversary, which is absolutely crazy. We've had a good year. We've gotten to over 100 stockists now, done loads of amazing events. We partnered with really big companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Wingstop. Like, it's been going really well. I think our goal for the rest is just to build on that. We want to get Bhangra Blends in a major retailer, so that's one of our goals for the end of the year. Hopefully work on some new flavours and another production run soon, and keep increasing the number of events we're doing, increase our brand presence, and just keep growing the brand.
I love that. To wrap up, we're going to do a little bit of rapid fire because this is South Asian Heritage Month. Well, it's not while we're filming, but that it's going to come out in South Asian Heritage Month.
Yeah.
And I love that you're spotlighting our amazing, vibrant community through your brand and product. And I want to learn a little bit more about some of your faves in terms of like all things South Asian heritage. So we're going to do some rapid fire. Favorite Bollywood movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. You put me on the spot as well. I have so many as well because
You can give me top 3.
Oh god, I'm gonna think on the spot right now. My mind is like just completely frozen.
Okay, I'll give you mine. Zindagi Na Milegi Hai Dobara. Basic, but I love it. Ye Jawani Hai Diwani and Queen.
Okay.
Okay, what's one South Asian song? It could be Bollywood, it could be Bhangra, it could be whatever different style that's on your Spotify on loop.
Oof, again, another really tough question. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to think on the spot.
It's okay, that's all right. Are there any creatives or founders that are part of the South Asian community that you want to spotlight and shout out?
Yeah, there's quite a few. So there's a few brands that we talk to quite often. For example, Protein Walla, we see them so often. They're another South Asian brand. They do like sort of South Asian snacks. And it's really cool. Like they've been there from the start. We've been seeing them grow. They've been seeing us grow. So yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any final words for people that are starting out their own journey, that look like you, that might have a great idea but maybe not the same amount of confidence around how to just start and stop overthinking?
Yeah, genuinely, I just think the best advice I can give is, like, I know it's hard, but genuinely just start. When we started, we had nothing. Like, we didn't have the experience in the industry. We didn't know anyone in the industry. We literally thought of it that day, and then we networked, we met people, and it grew as it did. So it's like the hardest thing to do is just start. But the second you start, the more people you meet, and you'll be surprised how many people want to help a young brand. Like, you won't be on your own. So I think the best thing you can do is just bite the bullet and just go for it.
That's really useful, and I 100% agree. My final question for you is, this podcast is called Reclaiming Bossy, and I have been called bossy my whole life. A lot of the people that I interview on this podcast have their own relationship with that word and what that's meant for them and how that's kind of contributed to their success. But what does being bossy mean for you, and are you reclaiming it in this season of your life?
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like some people hear the word bossy and give it a negative connotation. But to me, I just feel like if you want to be your own person, you want to have your own business, then you have to be bossy. Like you said, how much percent of funding goes to women? Barely any, like 2%. you're on your own in such a large space, and the only way you can come through is by being confident and being yourself. And I feel like that's what being bossy means to me.
I love that. Where can everyone find you? And more importantly, where can everyone drink Bhangra Blends?
So I think the best place to find us is on our website, www.bhangrablends.com. We're in over 100 stores in and around London. So all around London, like Northwest, West, Southwest, East London. We're always doing events, so keep a lookout on our story for when we shout things out. And yeah, hopefully everyone can try Bhangra Blends soon.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for taking the time. You truly are incredible, empowering and inspiring.
Thank you so much.